Assalamu alaikum, welcome back. So ladies, in the news also, there's a lady by the name of Erin Sutherland, and she's a mother who admitted killing her baby, I think she was a baby girl, while suffering from postnatal depression, and she's been jailed for 3 years pending successful psychiatric treatment. My question to each of you is, how often do we discuss postnatal depression? As this does happen within our community, and it can often last for years. So again, is this discussed? I'm going to start.
It's usually not. It's usually not. And whatever you do, again, same thing. As a mother, you're always blamed. So, and no one understands it. No one. It's not really like, you know. It's not something, you know. After you give birth, the nurse usually comes to check on the baby and to check on the mother, but only as you feel judged when you know when they do that. The midwife, she comes and checks on the house and checks on you, but it's not really to see how well you're feeling. It's more like, are you exactly? It's more like, is she capable of looking after the child?
Yeah, like my mum, for example. You know, when she had us, you know, the nurse would come and check on her well-being as well. Whereas now it's not the same anymore. You know, the mothers aren't taken care of as much.
Well, I'm smiling because took me back to my own situation when I was living in America. They don't even have healthcare workers, or what do they call them? Midwives who come after the child is brought home. And there was one lady who came to me because my son was extremely premature at the time, and this was like 14 years ago. I didn't even know what postnatal depression was. You know, you're a new mom, you're tired, your hormones are all over the place. You're trying to adjust to this new thing, child thing, whatever. It's screaming all the time. And then she came over and then she said, looking back now, I do think that I had postnatal depression because I was so alone, and that she didn't even ask, do you have support? How are you doing? Do you have a break? And she came over and she just had a ticky list and she said, oh, do you feel like killing yourself? And I just came. It was really quite casual. And I said, well, not at the moment, no. And she's like, okay, tick the box, never saw her again.
And even if you had said yes, you'd be risking losing your child to social services.
I didn't even know what it was because you're so tired. You know, and I remember people saying, you know, you're a bit blue because you haven't slept.
The baby blues.
You're a bit tired, you know. And then you feel bad because you see other mothers who are like getting along with it, having a sing-song.
Running in the park.
Exactly, you're like, what's going on? And it's almost... You feel kind of ashamed to say, I think there might be a problem here. I don't think, again, the community really deals with this because, let's be honest, the last thing I would do is go to my community centre and say I'm depressed.
Don't forget also this thing about having children. Oh, it's a blessing, it's a blessing. So how are you going to break that down to people when you have this blessing and you're like, oh my God, my life's over, I hate myself, and you're not going to, because in a way it's almost going against the religious, what we think we should be doing, and it's a reality.
When it's actually it's hormonal, it's physical, really.
Physically, your family support here is really important. Your husband, your mum, your dad, the family needs to be aware of all these things.
Maybe you have like a mum that, you know, I just want, you know, I wanted to have 50 children and this is beautiful and I went through it, so you go through it, and the husband, well, most of the time he's out to work, so he has a bit of a...
I mean, this is quite a normal thing. I've heard that. I've been through it, so what's wrong with you? I've been through all of this, so why are you complaining for? You know, you hear these kind of things.
In my day.
Exactly. And it's like, okay, hang on, it's slightly different
here. I think also, like, I mean, before with and obviously, like, with society changing and things, like before when you had a baby, it wasn't just you having a baby.
You had the whole family
the village was having a baby, and someone would come over and bring you a dinner, and someone would do your washing.
You're probably living with your mum. Your mum comes and stays with you, cooking for you, helping you with
all of those
the
things. And now we're expected to have these kids by ourselves. Your husband's got 2 weeks off work, usually decorating, painting the ceiling, or changing some light bulbs or something. And there you are with this baby who you don't know. And if it's your first child, you don't know what you're going to be like. I mean, I remember thinking that when when my first daughter was going to be born, there was going to be rainbows and unicorns and stars. And she was born and I was like, oh, well, I've done my job now. Can someone else do something, please? And it just didn't.
And it's not a choice. It's not a choice then, you know, feeling depressed. It's not something that you just sit down there and, hey, I'm just feeling like
Don't you think sometimes
to say?
Sometimes now, you know, people are really picky as well. Like some girls were like, I don't want mother-in-law coming to help me out.
Yeah.
I don't want, you know, don't handle it this way.
Is it a sign of weakness?
And then people back off. They're like, should we really go and help her?
Yeah.
She won't like it if I carry the baby this way, or she won't. You know, there's now barriers that are being built up, psychological almost,
And
which doesn't help.
A lot of the time we don't know the signs because when you go and visit someone, they're not going to be moping around in their socks. So, you know,
they'll be looking fantastic.
Exactly, I'm doing really well, and you don't know what to say, and are you intruding and stuff. But I do think we do. Again, we need education, and we need to just be a bit more touchy-feely with each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
a
not
more
just
welcoming, a bit more.
Not just our community,
That's from
but in
us,
general.
from the community. But I think the
Definitely.
government also has to do something about it. There has to be a bit more education, you know, and I don't know, more awareness about it, perhaps. You know, how to deal with the new mothers, what kind of support to give to them.
I think people are beginning to get a bit
approach
robotic.
them without
People are robotic about things.
Yes, and without them making them fear, you know, coming out and saying, well,
that's
actually,
the
I am
thing.
suffering from
That is the
depression. You
thing.
can't come out and
No,
say
you
you're...
can't. And the thing is, there's a really huge, and Tamara, you picked up on it, there's this really huge thing about the involvement of social services as
That
well.
is,
And the last thing a new mother wants is, and the thing about it,
Even
when
your
you've had...
GP.
No, but when you've had involvement from social services, that does not leave your medical record.
No,
it's always
it
going
stays
to
there.
be there. And people are absolutely petrified of being painted in this light.
That's
I mean,
it.
you know, hearing about this.
she's
I just
taking
think it's-
antidepressants.
Yeah,
you know,
so is she
will
a
come
risk?
up.
Are we going to
Maybe-
be suspicious of
Exactly.
her? And that
Yeah.
sort of
It
thing?
comes up in
Yes.
court. It comes up when it comes to custody, child custody,
Yeah.
whatever it is. It will come up.
Absolutely, and
It will affect you for life.
I don't think we have enough support, you know, resources within the NHS and things like that support women having babies. We're just far too overstretched. But in that case, you know, when that happens, you need other support networks around you. I mean, I think this is a mum who's had a child. There is a father, whether they're together or not, I don't know. But she will have some sort of. There are people in this woman's life. How can you know, when do we stop caring so much that someone can go through this alone?
Are we doing? Is it a case of double standards? Because let's face it, a child was died because of an action of her results, whether it was a hormonal imbalance or whatever. Obviously, she was going for some issues, but are we making excuse because she's a woman? What if it was the guy?
The guy does not suffer from postnatal depression. There is no...
Well, it could
You
be
know,
like
what
in
is
10
what
years'
is
time,
suffering
he had
a
enough
form
of
of
sleep.
depression.
But that's,
You know,
that's a different thing. But for her, it's a physical change in her body that
a
causes
physical
those
change. But there-
fluctuations, you know, hormonal
with
fluctuations.
This case, this is mental health. Mental health does not discriminate against whether you are male or female,
yeah.
young, old, regardless. If it was a man that did it, you know, there have been cases where men have, you know, stuff like they've put their kids in the car and they've put an exhaust, you know, they put a pipe in the exhaust and they've gassed themselves and they've gassed their kids. And in those situations, you cannot turn around and say, oh, he was just having a bad day. There's a deep psychological issue going on there. The thing with the postnatal depression is it is a physical change. It is, you know, your body giving birth. It can be traumatic. Some of these women,
some it's more than others.
some of them go through horrific births with, you know,
And some of
days
them
of
don't, but it's a
labour.
chemical imbalance.
Exactly. There's more to it than just.
But should we hold her completely responsible? Or should we blame it on the disease?
I think maybe she
don't
should have
know.
reached out for help. I think if you know there's help there,
Sometimes
reach out for help. I mean, if you know that there's something inside you that's making you want to kill the child.
You can't always recognise it though.
you
Once
can't.
you're in that situation, it's difficult to recognise it. To say, well, actually, here I'm in need of help. You
There's
are in such a deep, you know,
deep thing. There's a real
exactly.
disconnect for a woman to be able to kill her
go
own
to such an
child.
extent.
yeah, that
There
must
is.
be.
I mean, I can't.
Envisage
There's
it.
something there's something going on there, and for someone to turn around and say it's your fault, you should have reached out
You
for
should have
help.
reached out. No.
It doesn't wash with me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, I've
It
just
doesn't
had a
wash with
really
me at all.
crazy thing as well, which was that some people are saying that it could be because of a nutritional deficiency that could lead
Whatever it
to
could be.
postnatal.
I mean, maybe.
postnatal even.
Maybe diet.
There's lots of different
Could be.
things. There's lots
don't
there's
know.
lots of different reasons for it. I mean, yes, there is a theory that mental health and nutrition are linked. There is lots of theories on those. There are
lifestyle,
exercise,
whatever it
events
is,
can lead to mental health. There's lots of different theories. I think the main thing is that this is happening. It's really common. A lot of women don't feel like, I think that's the problem. It's a woman being able to feel she can say to someone, to a health visitor, to
without
a midwife,
fearing
without that
consequences.
Sometimes you don't know what that feeling is. Like I said, I had no idea what I was feeling.
In hindsight,
I can see it now that it was.
And we should be able to be offered even options like, okay, you're feeling extra hormonal, you're feeling extra irritable and angry, you know, what can we do about it? How can I help you? Like
but
you say, with diet
you
or
with these
exercise or
options?
sleeping
The GP?
habits.
Personally, I think it should be part of the care that you receive whilst you're pregnant. I think someone needs to say, actually, you know what, it's okay to say I don't know what I'm doing. It's okay to say I'm not feeling okay. But no one, you know, okay, so what is your pain method? Are you taking your multivitamins? Blah, blah, blah. And then you have a baby. I mean, I remember the amount of antenatal classes, appointments, all of these things that happened before I had my kids. As soon as I had my kid, it was like, right, the health visitor will be over, see you later, get out. And it was really that kind of...
more than I did because...
But that's what I'm saying.
I didn't have that. It was general,
just
go to your appointments.
But that's when the real challenge starts. When you take that baby home and that baby cries and you're like, I've got no idea
well,
why
nobody
this kid is
said
crying.
that to me either. I went into the hospital, you know, had my hair done, you know, big entrance like the Hollywood movies, black and white movies. Oh, here it is. Oh, beautiful. And then he was here, and I was like,
well,
now
we live in a first world country. It's ridiculous that we still, we still don't have
India,
any
this
issues.
I remember I remember with my mum, and my, you know, alhamdulillah, thank God, my mum was really supportive when I had my first. I was completely clueless. I didn't even know how to put a nappy on. Thank God, my mum was there.
did you read books?
I read books, but I don't tell you how to put nappies on or clothes or anything
have
like
YouTube.
that.
YouTube it.
No, YouTube
It wasn't there back then.
Down with the kids back then. But I remember when I had my daughter and my mum went out, and this was a really bizarre thing, and I'll never forget it. My mum went out to Lush, and she bought all of these soaps and creams and massage bars. Yeah. And she was like, "This is for you," and I was like, "What the hell am I going to do with this?" And she said, in Indian culture, when a woman has a baby, and I don't know if this is still true now, but when a woman has a baby in Indian culture, for 6 weeks she stays in bed. And every day she gets a massage, and someone comes and they massage the baby.
Yeah.
Someone brushes her hair.
Honestly, she did.
Someone brushes her hair.
Someone
Someone washes her clothes. Someone makes her food.
Brilliant.
It should be a human right. It should be every woman's
because this is the most special and this is one of the most significant points that you're going to have in your life. And of course, I was sitting there and I was like, okay, Mum, so where is my massage? Where is my mousse? When are you going to brush my hair?
Only do they have to deal with it, you know, like we said, like a new baby.
The respect for that period of time and how sacred it is. And in this country, we are so... You're going to work.
To deal with your husband
exactly.
as well, who doesn't understand what you're going through.
We've completely
and he calls you crazy, probably. Like, how many women do they come? You know, they come and say, he calls me crazy because, well, obviously, if you're sleep deprived for 2 days, wouldn't you go crazy?
2 years. When you're deprived of sleep for 2 years.
Exactly.
You know, and then you're meant to automatically go back into looking like Barbie.
And then go back to work after
the Daily Mail says you should.
There are so many issues that women, you know, have to, you know, we're forced to go through, and we have to deal with them.
It's not sacred anymore. The whole process has just become very, you know, work until you're 8 and 3/4 months pregnant. Honestly. At work. Get on the tube. No one's going to give you a seat, by the way, even if you do have that little badge.
I was going to say, do you have the badge?
Even with the badge,
baby
people
on board.
Even with the badge, I've seen people get anyway. And it's this attitude towards
it's a very
being
get
a
on with it
parent.
attitude. Just get on
Women
with it.
have been having babies in fields for years. So
Big
what?
deal.
Doesn't mean that's the way that we should be.
These are the
that's
feminist issues that we should be hearing. We should be seeing people being actively, you know, working for, rather than, well, yeah. Don't want to mention names.
But also, you know, you were giving us the lovely romantic idea of the massage and all
Come
that.
brush my hair.
I was told that for 40 days I have to stay in the house so that the child wouldn't catch anything,
and the
demon spirits, whatever.
And also the
I
mother,
was going out my mind because I needed some fresh air.
Of course.
And it was, oh gosh, it's just so much. I think.
And don't look at my baby, you'll be giving it bad eyes.
Exactly.
Whatever you do, don't look at the child.
Don't look at the child. And oh gosh, there is a service, it was called Mocha Moms, and I really liked it. I think we should do it, ladies. It's a service for women, by women, and for 2 weeks, it can be a group of friends or whatever. They provide 3 meals a day for 2 weeks, which is so helpful. And they'll come into your house and do your laundry. And anyone who has a baby, oh my God, what do they do with all that stuff?
Brilliant idea.
And it was so helpful. And they give you a little card for the mum to say, you know, you're doing a really good job. And it was set up by mums who had been going through the same thing. I'd love to have that in the community.
Yes.
Brilliant idea.
You know,
Absolutely.
just support each other rather than, you know, Wednesday a key card, you know, all of that stuff.
But again, it's the government responsibility to deal with these kind of issues, to help women, mental health issues, and, you know, dealing with postnatal, and making it easier for them to speak about it and not just keep it to themselves. And things like that would happen, you know, eventually, you know, suicide, you know, end up killing your own child because
why must it be a government incentive? Why can't it be a grassroots incentive?
It is a grassroots. It's education.
It can be both.
Yeah, and support and care.
Again, it starts from the family. I think it's really important having.
Yeah, it's your attitude towards pregnancy and childbirth and rearing kids. I mean, I think we're just expected to do everything by ourselves now.
We do. There is no time even for family. You can't expect your mother to come and live with you and look after you, or
I
your
wouldn't
friend.
want to, because she would
for a short
do things
period, though. I mean,
different
surely
way.
if your mother was ill, you'd go and help her out as well. So
If you have a mother around,
you know, it does start from the family bonding, the family system itself. You've got to be supportive towards each other at good and bad times. It's always going to be there. So I think
It is
essentially
ideal
it starts from there,
Yeah.
and then it can kind of, you know.
But it's not always available. Not everyone
Yeah,
has a mother
that's true.
you know, around the corner to come and help them.
Yeah.
And many people are completely on their own. Or even if you have family and sisters and friends, not everyone is free to come, you know, give up their day job to come and look after you and your child. It's also the requirements of today's lifestyle.
I think amongst sisters we should be having this conversation amongst ourselves and saying, what do we need? Rather, I mean, I kind of feel like the Ireland should pave the way, but sometimes we need to take a bit of it. These are our issues,
also
and males aren't going to necessarily
They're not going to do it for us. We
understand.
have to take the initiative and actually,
Exactly, and talk about it. And you know, you were saying about the mother-in-law. I didn't want my mum to be around, to be honest. She was lovely, but there's a way she would do things. I'm like, well, no, I don't want to, you know, swaddle the child. I want his arms to be out, actually.
Swaddle the child,
You know, because, you know, a cultural thing. And I'm
Putting
like,
the books under the head and stuff like that.
oh my God, stuff like that, massage the head and all that. So it would be good if, I really want to do the Mocha Mums here, but we'll call it something else. That would be so good. But I think, you know, I would like our scholars to be a bit more, not hip and trendy, but a bit more aware of what's happening. And I really would like to have a female kind of representative that I could call and say, I'd like to discuss this with you. I'm feeling a bit down. What do we have in our community? Is there a sister that I could pay to come twice a day to clean my house, or twice a week or whatever? But there's nothing there, and this code of silence that everyone has to suffer.
That is something that clearly needs to be improved, you know, within the community, like you said. You know, what is a mosque? What's a mosque for? It's, you know, what's an Islamic centre for? If not for these,
if it's not providing some
but
sort
you know
of,
what? I was really shocked. I was turned on the TV, as you do, and then there was a couple of scholars from our community who were talking about depression as a whole. And it was almost like they were joking about it, like, oh, these days, you know, people need a pill for everything, a pill
they
to
look
get
at it
up.
as first world problems.
Exactly,
you know,
you asked your wife why is she feeling down, and she said, oh, I'm depressed. And I was a bit shocked. I was like, well, this is a well-known scholar.
It's a real problem.
Treating depression as if, you know,
it's a joke.
As you said, the first world problem. All we have to worry about is how fabulous we look. And
we've been ungrateful.
Are you doing all your amals? Have you done all your salams?
But that's what I'm saying. The attitude towards mental health, it's appalling, and it's across the board. It's not just from the government. It's within our communities as well. And I think the thing is that people are not prepared to talk about things, because when you say I'm not feeling well, people have this attitude that, oh, well, you should have, you know, you've got all these blessings, you've got a house.
Did you read the Surah blah 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 on a Friday when the moon was going?
Did you? And then you did that prayer. And then did you read on the water and drink the water?
Oh, I forgot that
That's
bit.
the bit that you missed.
That's
it's this
what
attitude.
happened.
It just completely stinks, and I can't stand it. I really can't stand it, because you've got people. And you know, I've got friends who have got mental health issues. I know people that have got people in their family that have got mental health issues.
Have mental health issues.
I know, to some extent.
To ignore
yourself
No, but to ignore it, and to have this attitude that somehow, you know, I hear it a lot. This person has got jinn possession. And it's like, well, actually, no, because she's in the street and she's taking her clothes off, and that's when she's not had her medication.
There's a little bit of an issue there.
She's not taking her medication, and when she does take her medication, she's not taking her clothes off. And I think this attitude.
Does she have a hijab on?
Hijab.
Okay.
Hijab always stays on.
Exactly.
Hijab on. But I think this attitude, it's just appalling, and I cannot stand it when I hear someone on a mimbar say,
a man telling me about female issues. What would you know about?
And he's not going hungry, and he's got a house, and he's got a job, and he's got all of these things, and he's got no idea what these other. And I'm not saying that all of them, because
we're blessed. We do like men. We do support.
We're blessed with some very good scholars, but this attitude stinks about you should be grateful for this and you should be grateful for that.
Crumbs.
You know, my house is just flooded, and my husband's left me. Mashallah, where are the blessings? Why don't you do
in the next life, Francesca? In the next life. You'll reach paradise, don't worry, when I've got no shoes on and my kids are like, you know. Think of the children in Africa, who are you? But, so you just, so selfish, Francesca. So you just, in the Pakistani community, what goes on there? What goes on in your neck of the woods when it comes to mental health, post-natal depression, sisterhood even?
I don't think these issues have been addressed as well in the
2015?
Pakistani community. In the newer generation, maybe more so, we begin to recognise and understand these things a lot better. Maybe because we're a bit more educated than the elder generation that's come into this country and stuff like that. The elder generation, as far as my experience and my understanding is, they don't actually pay any attention to these kind of things at all whatsoever. You know, I've seen people, myself firsthand, Pakistani boys, really good, intelligent guys, but their sort of almost their lives have been ruined because their families aren't acknowledging and accepting what's going on in their lives, and as a result, they're getting destroyed, literally, because of, and they're seeking comfort elsewhere. By wrong means as well, and I've seen it happen. It's really, really sad, but it is quite common. Unfortunately, you know, it's really upsetting saying this, but it is quite common amongst the Pakistani community not understanding these kind of issues, mental and emotional issues. They don't address
using substances to alleviate this difficulty they're feeling, whether it's drugs or alcohol, is really quite common as well.
So we're still unfortunately at the stage where it's shameful to be human.
It's shameful to not feel okay.
Yeah. I know I can only express a certain amount before
ungrateful.
It's not, you know, it's unfortunate.
It's lack of faith.
It's interesting because this also happens there was a famous artist who suffered from depression, and she said she would go to church and she kept being advised, kind of like, oh, can we just pray and pray, till she came out and said, I can't, you know, I'm very grateful for what I have in my life, but I am struggling here, and all the prayers in the world and all the holy water and go to Babylon or wherever it is they want to go to. She was Afrocentric, okay? She wanted to go to Babylon, the creation, the birthplace of creation or something, she said. So she didn't get any healing there, so she went to the doctor and she's doing a lot better. But I think, you know, in any religious community, it's always this, you know, read the whatever, do this, do that, and we've still got so much work to do as sisters, and I'm really hoping that sisters who watch the show, you know, are inspired to. Only takes one or two people to make a change. You don't always wait for somebody to do it. The fact that, you know, we're four different people on the show discussing things with different opinions, you know, baby steps, small changes. You do something. I kind of feel that a lot of the times when I'm on the show, I'm always pushing for, we need this, we need that. And I'm thinking, well, who's going to... I'm only one person. I can't do everything. I can't get a bus for the senior citizens to drive them to Majlis. I can't, you know, there's only 24 hours in the day. But if we could be a bit more mindful of one another.
I think that's it. I think you've hit the nail on the head.
Mercy
just
in the religion.
Give people a break.
Yeah, absolutely. Stop
People
being so harsh.
Why are we judging everyone and everything for, you know, because you haven't made mistakes?
Exactly.
No, absolutely.
Give people a chance. I mean, we're human beings. We fluctuate from being...
But I really think as women, we have so much power in our hands. You know, we're mothers, we're sisters, we're someone's daughter. When it comes to community issues, we have a voice, and we could really make, if we had a group of us together that really were committed, we could make subtle changes. We really could. And I really do encourage sisters to do that. And whatever you think your community needs, you know, it just takes a couple of you to make a change. But ladies, as always, it's been an absolute honour to have you and hear your opinions. I really hope that the viewers have enjoyed the programme as well. I really look forward to seeing you, inshallah, in the next episode. Take care of yourselves. Assalamu alaikum.
If you have been affected by any of the issues raised in Ladies First, then the following organisations may be able to provide help and advice.